Hey, it's me, Jazzy. Months ago, I actually checked every single mod for Baldur's Gate 3 up until patch 7. I did not check anything post it, because that's the whole point. We're making a snapshot of how the modding community used to be before the advent of the modding tools. However, the script is very long, so I'm taking my time editing it all out. We've already checked all the races, appearance, classes, and Bunga Banana's f***ing weird mods, as well as spells, equipment mods, and companion mods. Now, this isn't going to be a mod review channel long term, just to be clear, but do like and subscribe if you like the cut of my jet. Let's get to it. Okay, so neither the companions nor the game are actually really perfect. Nothing is, except me. I'm pretty awesome. So let's explore some mods that, to me, change things for the better. Okay, most annoying actions in the game on 3, 2, 1. If you said anything other than cunning action, bind pack weapon, and dancing lights, you're f***ing wrong. Having to recast those last two is awful. And when, as a rogue, are you ever going to sneak with an action and not a cunning action? These, respectively, make those two spells night permanent, and makes the cunning action default to the bonus action via toggleable passive. Now, let's look at some minor UI changes, starting with icons. Let's be honest, using disguise self is hell. You really have to look at the icons to tell all of them apart, and even then, it's hard with all the bloody elves here. Well, better disguise self helps by color coding them, either by race or gender, dealer's choice. The race is the best option though by far, but for some reason it's not hosted on the Nexus but on a different site. Regardless, the link to that is on the list in the description. Talking about color coding, why are the PlayStation buttons all white? I can't believe we need a mod for that. It's so much better this way. Look at it. You know what other spell icons grind my gears? Salts my sweets? Kills my crops? The f***ing hex icons. They all look the f***ing same. You could not tell them apart at a glance. So this mod places text over them to make them more convenient. If you're watching this video, chances are you are on what? Your 5th playthrough of this bloody game? So I'm guessing that about 4 playthroughs ago you got sick of the spinning dice. Well, plus UI faster roll saves you from button mashing after every single check by making those shiny rocks click-clack at the speed of light. Get those net ones in the game as fast as you get them in real life. Did you notice that the crabs are kinda flat? Honestly, I kinda did. It's the first time I actually noticed one of those tiny details that you usually only found out about online after seeing extremely specific mods that correct them. Like this one! Less flat crabs is... You know what it is, you know what it does, come on now, it's in the title, why am I here? Doesn't it suck when you die and lose the afterglow of your little BDSM sesh? Woo!
Your voice sounds so sweet, dear one.
Heartbreaking stuff. But with Loviatar's love after death, you can keep that nice, albeit extremely situational buff around. You know what should have more value in medieval settings? Books and paintings. I am saying this entirely because of merchantological reasons, and not because I have a compulsion to hoard both of those things. GWL, our dealer, makes both be worth much more, but also weight more. Though, to be honest, I'm still just gonna get them because I think they're neat. Talking about GWL, their other mod, Dissonant Instruments, is the next one. It's weird that we have an entire equipment slot that only one class really uses regularly, right? The instrument slot. But what if it was more of a trinkets or bauble slot? And what if they did special little things, like increasing carrying weight, or making you feel drunk, or giving you a cantrip? Seriously, this is actually one of the coolest mods in this list, because it really adapts the D&D aspect of getting random magical items that you can cleverly use for hijinks. Now of course, there's not a lot of ways you can use them, but still, this is super cool. Like getting a bug of infinite beer and that you equip and that makes you drunk forever is a really cool idea. Useful? Hell no, but still funny. Actually, I should make a video about that. I'm gonna make a video about that. Did you know carry weight effects don't stack in this game? Well, guess what stacking carry weight does? Now, this isn't just a BG3 thing, but sometimes RPGs really lack a nice, gentle response. Take poor Skuna or Will for example. Not exactly egregious examples, but still. The Be Nice mod solved this by editing the text and for Skuna, by making the mod dialogue choice available to everyone. The same idea of making origin and class lock dialogue available to everyone is present also on Kicking Rider's other mods. Halston Tell Me About Yourself additional player responses and additional Grove Raid dialogue options, allowing for more flavorful responses. Alternatively, if you don't like being nice, you can get Being Mean to Asterion, which was made as a proof of concept by the author, but I think it's too funny not to mention. I mean, look at this.
I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards.
You're stupid.
Indeed we are.
For the last dialogue mod, if you are one of those thirsty-ass Raphael stands, here's a mod that lets you flirt with that insufferable bastard. Alright, these next few mods still change things, but they're more subjective about whether they're improving things and not necessarily better. Though I still thought they were worth highlighting. Isn't it a shame that we can't have everyone present for dialogue? For their little interjections or random banter when we're walking around, or their little quips? Wouldn't it be nice to see everyone walking around like pals, finally? Like friends? Now, I know what you're thinking. There are mods for that, like mods that make the party unlimited, so you can just grab everyone and just go. But those mods completely break game balance, right? Because everyone is also gonna be present in combat. So this is where Sit This One Out Chew comes in. It gives you a spell that you can use on your party members that will make them disappear when combat triggers. Or make them disappear just in general and only appear in dialogue. Because let's be honest, having all the companions following you around can kinda clutter things. Like, there are a lot of them. When they whipped it out for the first time, you thought, that's too big. It just won't fit. And when it reached your lips, it all but confirmed that flute is way too big. I mean, look at it, it's huge. Smaller flute fixes this egregious mistake. It's that kind of mod for people who can't help but be anally retentive about details. And there are also other mods in this vein too that make other items very small. Obviously, the reason why the items are this big is to facilitate visibility since the game's camera is usually very far away, but if you play with a closer camera with mods or with a controller, this will be great for immersion. Or don't bother with it, because come on, did you really even notice? Immersive loading screens highly improves the save gun lifestyle by adding different loading screens for you to peer at with your peepers, as you proceed completely invalidating any challenge this game really has. Come on, you saw those minotaurs, you saw those ogres and you thought, man, I really wish I could be the one to wield a huge stick. Well, I found a big stick allows you to do just that. It used to be that you can actually bug the game and use the minotaur weapons and ogre weapons yourself, but again, this was a bug and it was patched out, but this mod makes it so it's totally legit. You just gotta get those guys to drop their weapons with command spell and then you can have fun. Now, this is a cool homebrew rule. Critical miss as consequences allows both you and your enemies an attack of opportunity upon a nat 1 on an attack roll against them, or you. So, you know, critical miss as consequence. The mods are so self-explanatory, why am I here? Waitlist consumables, god damn it, I'm gonna explain it to you. Okay, let's go. You aren't using your stockpile of consumables. So you got like 1,000 potions in your pockets, really pulling those pants down. Waitlist consumables relieves that, but does not cure you of your stubbornness, sadly. Now here's a couple mods regarding Origin. Interesting Origins takes the narrative ideas companions have, like Karlach's Inferno Engine, Shadowheart's connection to Shar, etc., and gives them unique mechanical consequences. Things like Karlach burning people, Shadowheart being able to see in the dark, etc. Pretty cool idea, though I feel like the bonuses, skills, and attributes that it also gives is a bit too much. I mean, their abilities are already represented in the game via their character sheet, so, you know. Though I think there's a version you can get of the mod that doesn't have that. Don't like your dirge remembering that they are Baldurian for some reason, but they don't remember anything else? Well, be a true amnesiac and get this More Amnesia for the Haunted One mod. It does that by simply removing the Baldurian tag from the dirge so that none of the dialogue around it will trigger, like if you made a character that came from somewhere else. Or nowhere else in this case. You know what's better than one backstory?
That pounding blood obscures who you are.
2 backstories. Dark Urge All Origins gives the Dark Urge origin to all origins. That's a lot of origins. However, I'm sure there's definitely some bugs with this one when plotlines converge, so watch out for that. You know, I get this question all the time. Where do you keep it? In your pants? You have no bag of holding, so how are you carrying all those corpses? Well, my friend, it's obviously in my trusty corpse bag, which is created by the Send Bodies to Camp mod. The mod essentially allows you to send all corpses you find straight to camp by making them weigh nothing when you are near them. It's essentially an easy way to do the thing I did for my QI free run, and is therefore something I'll be using once I pick that series up again. Tired of inventory sorting? Well, so am I. Seriously, I think I've generally spent hours actually organizing shit in this game. Suffice to say, although a bit of inventory management is not bad, hours of it is a bit much. Bags Reforged has a bunch of, you'll never guess, bags, and not only are labeled so you don't have to remember which bag is which, these bags also automatically collect and sort your items. Collect from the inventory, I mean, you of course still have to pick the items up. Wearable Backpacks by Cody Hansen. Wearable Backpacks adds a variety of rarities of backpacks purchasable from vendors. The rarer the pricier, and the more they increase your carry weight. They are equipable on your instruments a lot like the Baubles mod. Not only is this a great addition to the game, adding a sensible and sensical pricey thing to use your money for, but they also are so cute as they are shown in your character model. Okay, I admit, this mod is just cute, and that's the only reason that it's here. Companions Packs adds a custom backpack to every character with their name and color coding them, while also giving them cute little icons that match their personalities and appearances. Weirdly, the author actually said that they use it to keep the companions' iconic original clothes, and I actually wanted it for the exact same reason. There's no reason to keep them really, we're just sentimental I guess. Talking about those iconic looks, why don't we actually get a mod that makes it worth keeping them? Here is iconic companion armors with oomph. Do you like your companion's look? Regret having to give it up for a fugly armor item that is just mechanically better? Well, this mod gives you a unique version of your companion's armors in the tutorial chest. None of the new armors are broken by any means, only marginally better. So it's more like you're keeping their iconic look until you find something truly worth putting on. Adamantine arm. When I first got those idols of Shar and Saloon, I was like, ooh, this is going to become something. And then it didn't. I mean, it kinda do, but doesn't it feel like the holy idols of very relevant goddesses to the game should have some sort of effect? Well, this mod author agrees with me. Improved idols of Shar and Saloon give those items auras that fit their goddess's type. Shar gives you proficiency in deception and stealth, and Saloon gives you proficiency in perception and insight. I love how those respective skills are very opposite to each other. Stealth versus perception, deception versus insight. Just, perfect. Do you want to be a werewolf? Just drink werewolf passive's potion and boom, that's it. No brutal bite necessary. I was then going to make a joke here about Teen Jacob, but that reminded me that that book came out 20 years ago, and that made me feel like I'm turning to dust. Werewolves have 3 different appearances to suit your taste. Ability-wise, they have what you expect. Claws, bites, massive leaps, and the Barbarian Rage. I prefer how Chet from Critical Role gets it right as he transforms, because werewolves are pretty much rage monsters, right? So you should get the rage immediately, but it works one way or the other. I feel like this should be more of a feat and not just a potion, but regardless, it's pretty damn fucking cool. Ring of Golden Recovery is honestly game-breaking and borderline cheating. It allows you to recover any spell slot you want by paying a fee in gold. So yeah, it's a really powerful thing, and the fees aren't that cheap to be honest. So there is a cost, and I can kind of get behind that, but still, this throws the balance way off. Fluorite shards, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing, say it again now. Well, I guess you can sell them, but they aren't worth the hassle, they are too annoying to get. Except Blurg now sells this mod's titular toothpick, named so because giants used it as such once upon a time, and now you can use it to easily get those worthless gems faster. Somebody, please mod something cool to use them for, I'm begging you. You know what I love during the 53 Things video? Having to slowly click on every party member to make them all play their instruments to make that bard band section. Well, Perform for Party says no more. Now everybody can easily play together with just one click of a button. And for the musically disinclined, we have Perform a Dance, so you can join in the merriment in your own way. It's not a particularly good way, but beggars can't be choosers. And let's face it, it's only a matter of time before somebody mods in a K-pop dance. Kissing your loved one is great, I love it. But what if you want a more platonic way to show affection? Hugs is here for you. Give your loved ones, friends, acquaintances, or even enemies the affection they may, or most likely, may not deserve. Did you know characters outside cutscenes don't really have expressions? No? Me neither, because this game is from far away 90% of the time. But hey, if that knowledge now haunts your thoughts like they haunt mine, you can download Loon's Idle Expressions, which gives characters idle expressions. Here you go again, explained self-explained. I will say though, I'm 90% sure this was made for sex stuff. Though, a surprising number of technological advancements were too, so, you know. I want to punch Vlakith right on her stupid face. Drawing that mustache on her portraits is just not enough. Is it sad that we don't have a boss fight with her? Well, that's something that this mod author thought. Fight Vlakith allows us to summon her at any moment as both an ally or a foe. She is very strong with a lot of HP, many spells, and etc. She was very much designed to be a boss fight for later in the game, so have fun. There's one 5e mechanic missing from BG3. I mean, there's probably more, but I'm just talking about one specific one right now. Granted, the reason why it's not in the game is probably because it's hardly ever used. Grappling. Dr. Keckville's grappling framework adds it to the game. It doesn't have any custom animations or anything, but it does work surprisingly well. It's just like in the tabletop. You use the grapple action, and upon a successful contested athletics row, the grappler reduces the movement speed of the enemy by 0. If the grappler moves like normal, the grapple breaks. However, you can move slowly around with your grapple target if you want. And you should, because it's really funny. You can also make a grapple chain if you're bored. Or make it a YouTube video. There used to be a mod called Mysterious Stranger that would spawn the Dream Guardian like the perk of the same name for the Fallout games. It's not available anymore, so please, somebody, either fix this or remake this, I beg of you. It's such a fun concept. Why the can't I hit the training dummy? What is it there for? Nothing. Say it again now, goddammit. Better Dummy fixes this by allowing you to target it, making it useful to check your damage if you're a math nerd or to test new modded weapons. Unless you're like me and prefer testing them on your friends, because you just can't help wanting to see their blood, their precious, delicious blood, coming out from their
perfect, soon-to-be corpse bodies.
Anyways, I'm never really going to use it, but it just bothered me that I couldn't target it. Sure, Wither's an immortal undead mummy, but surely even he could use a little cozy place for himself. Oh my god, I just realized I could have done such a funny pun on the Big Milker's Withers mod. From mummy to mommy. God damn it, that was a wasted opportunity. But surely even he could use a little cozy place for himself. Wither's Tent adds a little tent object for you to place for him. To place it, you will need another mod, the Decor mod, which allows you to place static objects in the game world anywhere you please. It's great for decorating your own camp. Who'd have thought that we'd have base building in BG3 because of mods? Blunders never cease. BG3 uses the D&D 5th edition's rule set, alongside some small house rules. But what if you prefer the good old days of yore? You are in luck, because by this point you've probably figured out that whenever I pose a problem, I'm going to follow it up with a solution. I've done that unwittingly so many times in this video, you're probably sick of it even. Sorry, but I'm in too deep to change things, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. I mean, if you got this far, you probably have been dealing with it pretty fine, so. Anyways, Vintage Rules is here for you. It focuses mostly on flat numbers, translating its advantage and advantage into number penalties or bonuses, and it also does some other crap. I'm not reading all that. But anyways, point being, if you want older D&D stuff, use Vintage Rules. If you dislike the large random chance inherent in a game adapted in a TTRPG, Combat Overhaul might be just what you want. It still rolls dice for your damage and stuff, but it rolls in on top of a flat damage number so that the minimum amount of damage increases, but the maximum stays the same, making the damage more consistent. Of course, this is not just applied to you, but also your enemies, and to heal and damage both. And it tries to keep the balance and difficulty of the game by also overhauling other things like value, cost, and even the mechanics of certain spells when necessary. There is also an alternative version of the mod that makes the damage number more reliant on your attributes. So in a nutshell, download this mod if you don't like being packed by Lady Luck. Personally, I already call her mommy. PvP Make War adds shoe spells that allow you to fight your friends in multiplayer. I'd showcase it, but I don't have any friends. Isn't it very convenient that there are no Mind Flayers alive in Nullight before the Helm? The Mind Flayer is still alive fixes this contrivance by keeping the fella that shoved the tadpole into you alive. The mod author promises that he's beatable, and I'm sure he playtested this with every class, right? Right? JK, it's probably fine. It'll just make you sweat right off the bat. It's crazy that BG3 is so good and has no microtransactions. What is Iron thinking? We need loot boxes stat! GWL Scalarita Fell's Coffers of Forlorn Treasures takes care of this. Certain specific enemies and other more generic ones will now sometimes drop a coffer that you can then open to get a nice random item. It ranges from trash to useful stuff, but mostly trash. Just like real loot boxes. Critical fails are stupid. If there's no reward for critical successes, then why should there be a punishment for the contrary? I know it's an auto success, but how many checks are actually over 20? Like 1, I think. It's stupid, and disable critical fails on skill and ability checks is good and should be a permanent fixture in your load order. There is nothing quite like the thrill of being stupid and rolling for stats. Get in on the thrill with choose rolled abilities and let Lady Luck f over your whole playthrough. Combat Lottery works as an alternative to the Sit This Out mod I covered before. Instead of you choosing who's going to participate in combat while you're walking around with every single companion in your party, this mod will do it for you randomly. It's a great way to keep things interesting. Random enemies grants all enemies random buffs upon combat. The buffs may vary from inconsequential to forcing you to rethink your whole strategy. It shouldn't be game breaking, but consistently interesting. If you are in a particularly masochistic mood, however, you can grab realistic carry weight. I feel like the whole carry weight mechanic is a bit pointless when you can just throw everything back to camp anytime, anywhere, but sure, get this if you feel like the game could use more inventory management. You freak. You can also grab no fast travel if you really feel like you've been a bad boy. Girl, no binary peep, I don't know what you are. You know what I like? When games make me poor. When money is a desperate commodity that leaves my hand the moment it reaches it because I desperately need to buy potions to survive. BG3 is too generous, and this mod is one step towards not making you win the game as a goddamn billionaire. Because they shouldn't exist. I remember being thoroughly confused by prepared spells when I began playing 5e. Now, it's not just confusing for new players, like regarding which classes do or don't have them, it also really doesn't translate that well to the game, the video game, I mean, so spell preparation begun gets rid of that awkward mechanic. Hey, are you a doctor? No? Then why the f do you get to stabilize your dying friends? Well, now you need a license for that. Medical help adds a medicine check to help your down mates. Okay, now let's take a look at some mods that help with the looting experience of the game. Search the room allows you to make a perception check when you crouch to spot valuables in a room, instead of having to go container by container. I like that it uses your skill, and you can just use it if you feel lazy in a room, but still manually search other rooms if you want. Super lovely and creative. Aura of Revealing is also a nice alternative, if you don't feel like relying on a check to get your goodies. It works as a passive that you can disable whenever you want, and there are multiple versions of the passive, each revealing the items by their rarity, and then color code in their containers. So if you're only after the real good shit, you can toggle off the common item aura. Either of these mods are good because they help you keep tabs on what you have already searched and what you haven't due to the glowing. But if you are the kind of person that does like all those common trash items, GWL One Man's Trash and Consequential Loot is for you. Instead of constantly having to deal with rotten tomatoes and carrots and cabbage as a reward for your obsessive compulsive clicking of barrels and crates, this mod rewards you with 45 unique items that will each spawn once randomly. Collect them all or sell them for big amounts of cash money. Dough, paper, or whatever the kids say nowadays. Or the rappers. One of those. Still from the same lovely person, GWL Gather Round adds to the crafting element of the game by making survival less f***ing useless by giving you the ability to forage for supplies whenever, wherever. We're meant to be together. It requires you to pass a DC 10 check for survival, or nature investigation. Okay, I admit I exaggerated how important this would make survival, but still, on a success, you gain materials for the game's crafting system that most people don't even know exists, really, or use. It's a very underutilized part of the game, because honestly, you don't kind of need it. But still, I mean, you know. Now, with all these goodies you'll be getting, you might also want to grab Quick Sell to Withers remotely. Mark your items as wares, crouch, and you right away feel your pockets get heavier. With gold. With the new difficulties added after the game's release, no one should have any reason to complain that the game's too easy now. But in case you are a freak, which we know you are, let's be honest, here are a few mods to make your overall existence at the gate more miserable. There were a bunch of mods in this vein that I put here, but like, a lot of them didn't work for one reason or another, like Satan's Hardcore mode or the one mod that made you play the whole game with 1 HP. So now we only have a couple, so here you go. Start with nothing like new in the Matrix is a very specific title that I kinda love. But it makes sense, right? Why would the Mind Flayers leave their prisoners with stuff? Arrogance, I guess, which makes sense for them, but still very convenient, I say. Plus Class's Wretch is pretty much the Soulsborne origin where you start without anything. But additionally, you could also just never multiclass and try to complete the game by just being a wretch. All you get as you level up is HP, and the slowly increasing sense that this honor mode playthrough was a horrible idea. Additionally, there's also a subclass version of it instead if you want that. So that you can, you know, play with a little bit of a class, at the very least. But no subclass. Which is f***ed up. Why would you do that? You monster. Last difficulty mod is additional enemies, more encounters, and fights. It essentially just places more enemies on the map. All logical and lore friendly, like some Mind Flayers that survived an all-light crash, etc. Now let's look at some utility mods. Things that might make your life easier in a number of ways. First up is a must-have mod, Tutorial Chest Summoning. A convention that most mods follow is to give you items via a chest in the initial section of the game. The famous Tutorial Chest. But since you're most likely past that, you need this as a way to get to that chest. This mod allows you to summon said chest by utilizing the spell you gain when you crouch. That's it, simple. Improved UI is another essential mod. It adds small improvements to the UI, but its main use is shifting it a little bit and adding features to it for other mods. Baldur's Gate is a gorgeous game, so why the fuck is the camera so far away? If you play on a controller, it's almost like the more modern Dragon Age games, pretty much a third-person game, so I don't know why the keyboard and mouse layout zoom is so limited. With improved camera, you can get as close and as crazy with the camera as you want. Alternatively, you can even get fake first person alongside the WASD mod that allows you to really pretend it's first person. Even though it really isn't. Though honestly, again, I recommend just grabbing a controller if you want that up and close experience. It's native and it's good. It's a bit more cumbersome than the keyboard, but what are you gonna do? Transform into companions and NPCs, Ring of Metamorph is a crazy mod that allows you to take the appearance of any NPC and to shift the appearance of other NPCs around. All you need to get up to some unholy shenanigans. So I was playing the game and noticed that I felt pretty slow. This was in fact because I was pretty slow, so I made this mod and now I'm not slow anymore, is what the mod author said. And honestly, the game's walking speed feels infuriatingly slow to me as well. So configure movement speed lets you finally respect your own time. It defaults to doubling your movement speed, but that is very much as the title implies, configurable. There are a bunch of mods to allow you to autosave during whatever situation you desire. Start of combat, start of dialogue, every once in a while, when you go to the bathroom, when you inevitably f up, whenever. Wherever. We're meant to be together. Oh, you with me. That's the deal, my dear. Do be careful about the thousands of save files you will be generating, though. Tired of looking like a chump? This mod doesn't fix that. But it can make your character look cooler by adding transmog to the game. That's right, the MMO solution to the oldest RPG quandary, to slay or to slay. Just in case you don't know what it means, transmog is given the appearance of a cool item to an item with better stats for the ultimate combination. Don't like having total control? More of a pillow princess? Well, Total AI Control is here to take control. You gain a spell that allows you to choose a ranged or melee AI to control your other party members during combat, so you can have even more downtime during the already dragged out combat segments. Yay! Taking pity on your enemies, the limitations of their women becoming a bit much? Well, just bring them back. After all, you have a bunch of revivifies with you, right? You can bring back your allies, so why not your foes too? What's the point, you ask? Shenanigans, my dear. Shenanigans.
Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot.
Great God, Helm. Allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be reckless.
Talking about shenanigans, full custom campaigns allows you to fully customize hirelings. Not only that, it gives you new spells that allow you to turn NPCs into hirelings. You could potentially build up your own army of Alfiras and unleash them upon the world. Make it hurt with their unquenchable thirst for death and woe. It's a visual joke I wanted to do, but I got lazy, so whatever. Minotaur's hireling. It's apropos of nothing. I just Minotaur's hireling. Emotes, Poses, and Tug-a-Walk is a great mod that allows you to pose your characters and NPCs with spells however you want. Make them sit, lament, cheer, etc. It's great for screenshots and thumbnails and... what do you mean? Photo mode's already out? Oh yeah, I forgot, I wrote this ages ago. Fuck! Why bother with the limitations of Magic Mirror or Character Overhaul mods when you could do it yourself with Appearance Edit Enhanced? It allows you to change your appearance, your class, your race, and that of your companions on the fly. It gets weird sometimes if you change big things in a row, so be careful. Alternatively, there is also Magic Mirror menu that allows you to change tattoos and makeup, even allowing you to get some body tattoos. Let's be honest, D&D doesn't really start until level 3, until your subclass. Everything before that is the tutorial, so start at level 3 lets you skip straight ahead right to the fun. Are you a coward who rejects the brutal realities of combat and probably never played Dragon Age? Then Leyline Leela's Squeaky Soap is for you. It adds a soap item that upon interaction cleans up all the grime and blood off of you. Ever notice not all items get 2-tips when you look around? It's mostly because there are so many of those in game that your screen would become too cluttered, and the function would be useless when it comes to finding the actual useful stuff. But if you think you know better and are tired of missing items you are actually interested in, then More's More 2-tips will show you everything. Everything! The debug book is super powerful and learns own debugging too. It's a book item that pulls up a bunch of dialogue debug options upon interaction. It didn't work for me for some reason and I'm getting sick of this video, so whatever. You probably shouldn't even use it anyway, you just screw up your save. Yeah, that's the reason I'm not fixing this mod. For your benefit. Not because I'm lazy. Yeah, totally. I'm not lazy. Do you know how long this video took? Coming from D&D, Baldur's Gate is pretty simple to learn because you pretty much already know everything. But for a newcomer, I can imagine it must be tough. That's where BG3 for noobs, simpler terms, and cleaner descriptions comes in. I'm not sure how helpful this really is, but maybe it's a thing to keep in mind if you feel like playing with a newbie. The Ring of Morning Routine is an auto buffer mod that likes you'd love to have in those Pathfinder games. It's not really necessary, IMO, but if you are a freak that min-maxes to that degree, or are playing in the insane difficulties, then I guess it makes sense. Though you don't really use spell slots for this, so it is cheating a little bit. You know what's stupid? Making your font f***ing gray when your background is black. Readable font for item descriptions makes the sensible choice and f***ing changes that because, yeah, not f***ing duh. Alright, that's it. I'll see you later. Ultimate was very successful. A lot of the modern Avenger mythos even comes from it. But what political edge he had eventually blunted and it just became cheap shock value, which Marvel Editorial doubled down on as a vibe mandate if you will, making the Ultimate comics be consistently very unpleasant. There was cannibalism, incest, and just a lot of yuck. This all culminated in Ultimatum, one of comics' most infamous events, which killed and violated many characters and left the Ultimate universe struggling along with a severe storytelling and financial limp it never recovered from.